So real quick, I really was thinking to myself, of course, because you have the best conversations with yourself sometimes, a lot of times. But growing up, I used to always feel like a lot of times I used to overshare a lot because I felt as though if I say this or if I give you this much information, you'll understand. You'll have a better understanding of whatever the situation was or whatever the action I took. I needed to get my point across so that people would be able to identify why I did what I did or said what I said. The older I get, I realize how much other people's opinions or thoughts really don't mean anything. It makes no sense to try to explain something or try to explain your reason for doing whatever you felt you needed to do, whether it was in your relationship, your family dynamic, your education. It makes no sense for you to even go into detail most times because a lot of times people are not going to get it anyway because it's not for them to get it. We're individuals. We have different walks in lives, different journeys. And a lot of times we waste so much time trying to convince other people about the decisions and choices we made, when in reality, the only person's, acceptance of that is yours. No one else matters. So trying to have dialogue and talk about the whys you chose to move a certain way, trying to explain to someone that says that motherhood is their life and you're trying to explain to them why you chose to be child free, that person probably won't understand. But just because they don't get it don't mean it does not validate why you chose to move or to live your life in that way. Just like a woman that wants to be a mother or a woman that wants to be a wife. It makes no point trying to explain that to a woman that has made it up in her mind she wants to be single. Trying to explain these moves and lifestyles to other people for what? Validation so that you can get a cookie or a good job? You're not going to get that. So the only thing you can do is live in your truth, live your life, and don't worry about what other people say. Because it's like, at the end of the day, when you're by yourself in your home, it has to make sense to just you. When you chose to walk away, that choice has to make sense to you. When you chose to give birth, it don't matter what anyone says or how they felt about children, childbirth, none of that. But it has to make sense. It needs to make sense to you. So I feel like anybody can take this message, but for women, live according to your truth. Do not try to stuff yourselves in boxes that are not for you. Don't put your feet in shoes that are not your size. And remember, everything ain't for everybody, which is why you have flavors, you have varieties. So if it ain't your flavor, if I ain't your flavor, be sure to find the flavor that works for you, because I ain't changing. Period. So I want to go into a little bit more detail about what my post was about earlier. So basically, my thing is this. We all have a lane. We all have, a message that is true and dear to our heart, and that is all good in the hood. But I just don't see why, when it comes to TikTok, people go out their way to not necessarily challenge people on like the direction they're in or whatever lifestyle they're in, but it's like a competition, especially with the women. You'll literally have women on here to combat, or go, back and forth with women who are married. And it's like, if you know that ain't your lane and you don't want to be married, you don't want a husband, what's the point of having lives or like saying stuff like, these are the reasons why y'all are miserable and married, or this is why what I'm doing is so much better than yours. It's like, what is the why? Why? Or, I'll see things on here about, well, I'm married, and this is why you all are jealous because you don't have a husband, and, y'all are just mad because y'all can't get a man. And everything boils down to competition. It's all a competition. Or, I'm happy I don't have to deal with children. I'm happy I don't have to deal with that. Or I'm happy, I have children and I'm not miserable and choose to be by myself. Competition for what? Invisible competition for what? What is being solved? What is the purpose? My thing is this. You have a lane. And you have people that will align with your lane or people that will stay out your way because they don't align with it. So it's so important to really know what your mission is, to know what is your purpose. Like, what are you trying to give? And if you notice, because my thing is this, especially on TikTok, if you're going on somebody else's page, what's the point of going on their page to like throw shade or hate at whatever lifestyle they got? I don't get it. They didn't go to your page, you came to their page to be like, oh, your lifestyle was wrong, or why would you do something like that? It's like, it's giving you're bored, it's giving that you're miserable, regardless of what type of path you're living, whether you're married, single, or not. There's it's a bunch of single women and a bunch of married women. It's a bunch of women, period, that's on here that's just bitter and just, misery loves company, and they sending out invites to their party. But it's like, why? As women, we got enough to deal with. And it's like, if you're not giving no type of advice, you're not giving no type of solution, you just want to criticize people, you really need to look deep within yourself and figure out what it is in you that makes you want to be that type of person. Like, what is it?